Hello and welcome back to 100 Yards of Football Sports Talk Radio. I'm your producer, Jeremiah Long, and joining me to talk about Cade Otton out of Washington in our NFL Draft Prospect Special is our host, Mr. Logan Landers. How's it going, man?
What's going on, Jeremiah? Got a great show today talking about the big tight end from Washington with Cade Otton. Can't wait to talk more about this young man, what I like about him, and how I think he's going to do in the NFL draft in about a month now, April 1st. So we're almost there. It's going to be a fun time.
Absolutely. And everybody watching, tell us in the comments, what do you think? Are you looking forward to Cade Otton? Are you looking forward to the NFL draft? Are you looking forward to the combine? And what are you looking forward to in this offseason as we get everything ready for the next season? Well, Mr. Logan Landers, we are so excited to hear about this young man, hear what he can do, and just to understand the dynamics of the NFL draft and what makes a player draftable. What do they have to do in their college career to be on that that level and on that radar to go to the next level? So, Mr. Logan Landers, tell us, Cade Otton, what do we have to look forward to with this man?
It's going to be fun. Like I said, the draft is April 28th, not March 20th. So we have exactly 2 months away, Jeremiah, from when we're filming this on February the 28th. So 2 months away. The combine is tomorrow, March 1st, on Tuesday. Doing that for a week. So we are in for some fun times with all these draft prospects. But let's talk more about Cade Otton, what I like about him. So he has good size, 6'5", 250 pounds. Hometown was in Washington, played high school football in Washington, came out of Tumwater High School, and then he played his collegiate career with the Huskies you see on the screen here. And he did a very solid job. When you look at him, let's look at his stats throughout the entire tenure of his career. Freshman year, right, in the Pac-12, eight games played, 13 catches, 174 yards, 3 touchdowns, not too shabby. 2019, his sophomore season, 11 games played, 32 catches for 344 yards, 2 touchdowns on the year. 2020, crazy season, only played in 4 games. We know that the Pac-12 had a brutal time getting some games going. But he did have 18 catches for 258 yards in this past season, 2021. He played in 8 games, was hurt a little bit, was banged up, but he did have 28 catches, right? Second best in his career at Washington, 250 yards, and a total of just 1 touchdown, but a pretty solid average, about 8.9 per catch. So you look at the stats, right? Nothing too insane to look at. There's nothing that's really going to pop off and say, man, why are we talking about this guy, right? Why are we talking about Cade Otton as a good pick here in the NFL draft? I'm going to explain that a little bit more. This is one of the better blockers in terms of tight ends, right? Because everyone looks at the tight end now, and you just think of the Kyle Pitts, the George Kittles, the Travis Kelce's, the guys who are going to get you thousands of yards, a couple of touchdowns, and kind of be a playmaker on your team in the NFL. But there's also the other side to a tight end, which is sometimes, like I said, those guys might be great pass catchers, but sometimes they could struggle in the blocking game for either the running back or blocking for your quarterback, because that is a very crucial part. Having that tight end there could be used as another blocker on your O-line, particularly, and that is where Cade Otton excels at. Like I say, he's a great blocker. He's got good power at the point of attack. And he's also got a little bit of a mean side to him, Jeremiah. He kind of plays like an offensive lineman whenever he's blocking. He's not afraid to get dirty. He's not afraid to throw some guys around if he has to. And like I said, in the passing game, like I said, nothing too insane in terms of college stats, but he just showed good football IQ. He's able to align a multitude of different spots there at the tight end position. He's got good catch radius, too. He's got some good size. He's got some good length on his hands and arms. So he's able to really use his strong hands to pluck the ball from wherever he needs it to be. And he's just a pretty solid matchup. Like I said, at 6'5", right, around 250, he's going to be a tough matchup for guys trying to cover him, like linebackers, because he's going to have so much of a height advantage. That's really going to help him out, I think. So I think that is going to help him overall when it comes to the draft. He's got good hands. Like I said, he's able to catch the ball away from his frame. It's not like he's just holding it right in a radius. He can able to move his hands, go above his head, go behind him if he needs to. Not much of a good route runner, obviously. Like I said, he didn't have the most catches and yards, but it's not a big concern, right? It's not like he's just kind of trucking down the field and there's not much going on. He can run some routes. It's just he's not the most fluent. So he doesn't need to work on that. Like I said, he's very versatile. He can play in a ton of positions on the field as a tight end. Your traditional where your tight end lines up somewhere else. And he can align the backfield too if you need him to. If you need him to maybe be there. He's a very tough player. He's got great competitive toughness, a good love for the game. He's tough and physical at the point of attack, like I mentioned, and he works, man. He works to get that catch over the middle. He's not afraid to take the big hit, and that's what you like to see. His ball skills, he's good at that. He can track it in the air. Like I said, he's good at blocking. That's probably one of his better attributes is his blocking skills, particularly in the run game. That's where he excels when he's on the line. He's got good length, like you see there, and he's also good in being engaged, too. He's not just going to stand there like a statue. He's going to be able to move around, too, which you like to see. Pass protection, like, is pretty solid, and I think that's just mostly due to how competitive he is, right? He's not just going to give half effort. He's going to be good on the play. He's got good length. He's tough. He's gritty. And he could also, if you got an edge rusher coming off at him, like have a guy with a little bit more speed or power, you have this guy here to maybe hold him up and stop him from getting to your quarterback. So he does good there. And also in max protection situations where you get that tight end and they're the block for you. And as a big playmaker, right, he can be a threat when the ball's in the air because of his size, because of his catching ability, especially in contested catches situations. I think we're going to see in the NFL, if you get a goal line situation, right, you can maybe toss one up to Cade Otton. He'll jump up in the air, grab it down for a touchdown for 5 or 6 yards, what have you. And that's, I think, what's going to be his strong suits, right? I don't think we're going to be seeing this guy get 100 plus yards per game, nothing crazy like that. But you don't have to do that to be a solid football player. That those are for certain players, certain tight ends, and that's just not how Cade Otton's game is. If he does progress into being that type of tight end, it wouldn't surprise me. He does have flashes of ability, but I think we're going to see more of the traditional tight end, one who can get catches if you need him to. He'll get a couple per game, but we're going to see someone who's a very good run blocker, a solid pass blocker, and just overall a good fit for any team who's looking for tight end depth. Maybe if you need a starter, you could have him as a backup even too, just in some certain packages. But I do think this is someone that you need to have on the field for your team if you want to get some extra protection in your run game. And I can't wait to see where this guy goes. I think at the combine he's going to show out. He's going to look good. I think that's also going to boost his draft stock some. But overall, I like Cade Otton. He's kind of a throwback in a way, right, of that traditional tight end. But I like this young man. I can't wait to see where he goes in the draft. And whoever picks him up, they're getting a solid tight end from Washington.
Absolutely. Yeah. A solid tight end from Washington in Cade Otton, an NFL draft prospect. You heard it here first from our audience. We got Logan Landers, and he explains this in a way so you can understand why someone is in the draft prospect range and why we would cover them. That's something I really love about our show. And me as the producer, as we go through and we do all of these shows, all I'm thinking, is how do we get our best information to our amazing audience? And so I am so thankful that we have these great hosts who bring that fire every single time we do a video. So Mr. Logan Landers, do you have any final thoughts on Cade Otton?
Final thoughts. I think Cade Otton's going to be a good pick. I think he's not going to be a first or second rounder. I could see him getting picked in the third round. Maybe if he could slide to the fourth round, I think he is. I would put him in that third round range. Someone that you can always work with. Someone that needs a little bit of polishing. But I like this young man. I think he's going to be a good fit. And I like his chances of succeeding in the NFL for a long time.
Awesome. Yeah, and everybody tell us in the comments, do you agree? What are your thoughts on Cade Otton? What gets you excited about this NFL draft, the combine coming up, and everything in between? Please follow us and over on our socials, because that's where we've been just crushing it. Facebook, YouTube. You can even go back and look at some of our streams back on Twitch and our podcast. So if you are listening live or watching on our video stream, thank you so much. Listening to our podcast over on Spotify, over on Apple Podcast, Amazon, Overcast, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, on the Believe Podcast Network, or anywhere that you love to listen to podcasts is our bread and butter. We have over 700 episodes of our podcast, over 1,000 episodes of our video cast. You can watch all these great NFL draft videos. You can watch interviews with amazing players, classic history specials where we go into the history of great teams from the past. And every single week, we're going to bring you new, live, and in-depth coverage. We keep it on the field, we keep it about the players and stats, and we bring it to you. That's our mission here at 100 Yards of Football. So thank you all so much for watching our draft prospect special of Cade Otton out of Washington, brought to you by our host, Mr. Logan Landers. I'm your producer, Jeremiah Long, and we'll see you again another live episode